constitution by participating in that election because the court had ruled in his favor. And ECZ was also following the judgment that was there. Okay? So the ConCourt admitted that Edgar Lungu participated based on the judgment that we gave. ECZ accepted the nomination based on the judgment that we had given. So Edgar Lungu did not contravene the constitution. ECZ did not do anything wrong to accept his nomination because there was a judgment. There was a judgment. Now, came to the other issue to say, of course, even the issue of the ballot, all that goes. So basically, Edgar Lungu, there was a judgment, that's it. Now, can we say, therefore, that election which happened, was it legal or it was not legal, or can it be nullified? Can we say that because Edgar Lungu, like some of us were saying that, you know, if Edgar Lungu did not qualify, okay, there was this argument to say if Edgar Lungu did not qualify, then it means that that election is a nullity. The court did actually answer that. The court did actually answer that. For those of us who have been saying, no, then Hakainde Hichilema's election is now and void. The court answered that. Because Edgar Lungu was legible. Edgar Lungu was not an illegal candidate. Edgar Lungu was not an illegal candidate. He was legible. What made him legible? There was a judgment. There was a judgment. So, as far as 2021 is concerned, Edgar Lungu was legible. And if he was legible, therefore, the election which saw Hakainde Hichilema elected is a valid election. Is a valid election. So, I've seen some people, you know, even on I saw some comments, people are saying, then Hakainde Hichilema. That has been settled. It has been settled by the fact that the court has admitted to say he was legible because there was a judgment which said he is legible. Even the election itself is valid. It stands. We cannot nullify that election because all the candidates that stood, they were legible. Edgar Lungu was legible. Hakainde Hichilema was legible, and all other candidates, they were legible. And therefore, that election remains a valid election. It cannot be termed as, you know, it cannot be nullified. It cannot be nullified. Okay? Now, then they came now to the fourth question. The fourth question was, can Edgar Lungu contest the other elections? Okay? Can Edgar Lungu contest the other elections? The ConCourt came up now to say, yes, he was legible in 2021. But that judgment which gave him eligibility was at pay incuria, was pay incuria certain things. Okay? So the judgment that gave Edgar Lungu eligibility, the ConCourt, they termed it pay incuria, meaning it was not a good judgment. There was something wrong with it. There was something wrong with it. I hope I am making sense. I hope somebody is able to follow. They agreed, yes, we gave a judgment. And that judgment is a judgment that Edgar Lungu used, that ECZ used. Yeah. But unfortunately, sorry, we have to admit that that judgment was wrong. That judgment was wrong. And since that judgment was wrong, we want to correct it. We want to depart from that judgment. We are departing. We are changing. And therefore, they changed now, like they withdrew that judgment and they said it was wrong. It was paying curia judgment. It was a wrong judgment. And now the question is, why was it wrong? Why was that judgment wrong? Why was that judgment wrong? According to those judges, they said Edgar Lungu served 2 terms. Edgar Lungu served 2 terms. The first term was from January 2015 to September 2016. Remember, Sata died in 2014, and we had elections in I think in January, and Edgar Lungu, I think, was sworn in on the 15th of January. Is it 15th or 25th? I don't know. Anyway, it was in January, and he was president until 2016, which was about 1 year, 8 months. And they said when Edgar Lungu was elected, in 2015, we were using the old constitution. Old constitution. As you know, our constitution has versions, if you like. I'm trying to speak as a layman. We have the first version. I think it straddles from 1964 or 1963 to about 1973. This time after independence, we had the freedom fighters, and we had pro politics, where we had ANC, we had UPP, and then other political parties. But in 1973, they changed the constitution and it became a one-party state. That was like the second version of our constitution. 1973, we had one party, going up to 1991. 1991, we changed the constitution. We went back to multipartism. 1991. 1991, it goes up to now, 2016. We had a different constitution. So, if you like, for the simplicity, for the purpose of this interaction, we can say the constitution between 1963 or 64 to 73 is like it's the first version. 1973 to 1991, it is like the second version. Okay? Then 1991 to 2016, it is like the third version. So Edgar Lungu, when he came in, the constitution that was ruling, it's the third version, I think. Third version, the one that was enacted in 1991 and went up to 2016. Yes, it is the third version. Now, in the third version, Article 35 defines the president, how long somebody can be, or the tenure of the president. Article 35 in the old constitution, not this one, the old constitution. What that constitution said, the third version, it said a president can will have two 5 years, okay? 2 5 years. 2 5 years. It doesn't say the terms, okay? A president can be elected twice, 2 5 years. First 5 years, second 5 years. Then the next point, it says a person can only be sworn in twice. And I think because at that time people were not imagining a president dying, so they were only thinking about 5 years. 5 years. And so if you do 5 years, you are sworn in. Another 5 years, you are sworn in. So once you are sworn in twice, you cannot contest. Okay? A person who has been sworn in twice is not eligible to contest. That's what the old constitution was saying. Okay? So, and in that constitution, I'm being very sincere and objective. In that constitution, it didn't matter whether you have been in office for 5 hours or 3 hours or 3 years or whatever. The term, in other words, was not defined. The term was not defined. What it said, it's only being sworn in twice. So the moment you are sworn in, it means, boom, you have been sworn once. That's it. And you don't even bring in the issue of the term, because the term was not really brought in. What was there? It's 5 years, 5 years, and being sworn in twice. That is what was there. Okay? So when Edgar Lungu was sworn in 2015, it counted as once. Okay? Then Edgar Lungu, when he was sworn in 2016, he signed a new constitution. And this new constitution is the one that brought in the issue of the term. Because this new constitution was trying to sort out some of the issues that we had in the constitution. And this issue came in because before we didn't have a president dying in between for us to define a term. But we had Mwanawasa dying, okay, midway, okay, and then Arabi came in. So that is when now the issue of now defining the term come in. So in the 2016 constitution, we defined the term to say the term is if somebody, for somebody to say he has done a term, he must do at least 3 years. He must do at least 3 years. If it is less than 3 years, that cannot be considered a term. And therefore, this person can contest an election again. Okay? He can contest an election again. Because if you come in, like the way Edgar Lungu came in, he didn't do 3 terms. He didn't do 3 terms. He didn't do 3 years. So, that one is not considered as a term. But let's be fair. We are talking, we want to be objective. We want to help each other as citizens. This came in the new constitution, not in the old constitution. Not in the constitution that when Edgar Lungu came in. When Edgar Lungu came in, that was not defined. It was, you are sworn in, that's it. You are sworn in, that's it. The issue of 3 years, whatever, came in the next, in the current constitution, in the new constitution. That's when it came in. So, since Edgar Lungu came in the old constitution, it means that term, whether he was there for two months, whatever, it must be counted as one. It must be counted as one. You cannot apply the new constitution to the first term of Edgar Lungu because it doesn't apply. Like they were saying that the law cannot be applied retrospectively. You can't bring the conditions of 2016, you can't bring them to the third version of our constitution. You can't bring them there. They don't apply. That is what the judges say today. That is what the judges say. So when you start arguing the 3 years, 3 term, no, a term, that one is not applicable to the constitution which Edgar Lungu found. That is what the judges said today. So they said that one is counted one. Then from there, Edgar Lungu 2016, we had an election. That election, Edgar Lungu ran for 5 years, meaning it is another term. Therefore, according to what the judges say today, is that that term which he came in, that term, the first term, in the old constitution, Edgar Lungu, the moment he was sworn in, it counted 1. It doesn't matter how long he was there, it counted 1. But then he did the 2016 to 2021, it counted 2. And therefore, Edgar Lungu had exhaustively run 2 terms, speaking according to the way we have it now. Therefore, he cannot contest the election again. This is what the ConCourt said. Now, they went back to say, but what did the old constitution say? What did the old judgment say? The one that gave Edgar Lungu the legitimacy to contest an election. What did it say? What did they consider? What was wrong? They said what was wrong in that old constitution, in that judgment, the old judgment, is that they considered, they said Edgar Lungu straddled through 2 constitutions. In 2015, he comes in, old constitution. Then he signed a new constitution. He signed a new constitution. When he signed a new constitution, he continued being president. Okay? He continued being president. But this constitution, they didn't consider him to say, what are we going to do with this current president? Because, okay, he came in the previous constitution. Now, he has signed a new constitution and we're in the new constitution. So, which one is going to apply? I hope I am making sense. Okay? I'm talking about the old judgment. They're saying the old judgment was wrong. And what was wrong? According to them is that there was a confusion. The confusion was that the judges considered that when Edgar Lungu came in, he came in the old constitution, which was saying that once you are sworn in, that's it. But then he was also a president when there was a new constitution, which defines a term. So which one are we going to apply? Are we going to apply the old constitution, or are we going to apply the new constitution? And these judges, they said, those judges, okay, they were wrong to have said, no, we are going to consider the new constitution. They did not consider, because you remember they said there is something that they left out. And they said they left out Article, I think 37, where did I write that? They left out Article, yeah, they did not consider Article 37(2), okay? They did not consider Article 37(2), because Article 37(2) is very instructive. It simply says sworn in, that's it. So why did they go? They were saying, why did we go to start looking to say which one should we apply? All we were supposed to do is to say, Iwe, this is what applies to you. Then talking about the issue of continuity, we cannot talk about the issue of continuity because the Constitution allows a president, it allows for continuity. That until another president is sworn in, the one who is there must continue. So Edgar Lungu just continued in the new, he just continued. But it doesn't mean that we should start looking for provisions for him. We don't need to start looking for provisions because the provisions are already there. They are already there. Once you are president, if the constitution changes, I mean, you continue until another president comes in. But you cannot start saying, no, let's look for which provision are we going to use. We don't have to do that. Because the Constitution simply says, if you are president and there are changes, whether parliamentary, whether whatever, there are changes, whatever changes that comes in, there should be no vacuum. You should continue until another president comes in or until we have another election, whatever it is. And this is what happened. So according to them, they're saying that judgment was 40. Was 40 at the pen curia. That is what they're talking about, the pen curia, meaning something was not carefully considered. And according to them, Article 35 was not carefully considered. And they think that it was not necessary to start looking at which one is going to apply to Edgar Lungu, because the Constitution already allows that if there is a disturbance, whatever disturbance in the Constitution, the one who is there must continue. And there is no need to start looking for which one applies, because what applies is what he finds when he comes in. This is what the judges said. This is what the judges said. So the odd judgment, which we have been talking about, the Danpule, the whatever, they have said all those judgments were wrong. They were wrong because they did not consider Article 35(2). They didn't consider it properly. And Article, I think is Section 7. They didn't consider these. They didn't consider these. Yeah, they didn't consider these situations. And therefore, they are correcting it according to them. What they have done today, they have corrected that wrong. They have corrected that wrong. And that is why they are saying he was eligible then. It's okay because it is not his fault. It is us. We gave a judgment. And that judgment, that is what we followed. That is what was followed. That is what was followed. That judgment is what Edgar Lungu followed, is what ECZ followed. And since that judgment was there, even the election is valid. But it was a wrong judgment. It was a wrong judgment. Much as it gave powers, whatever, but it was a wrong judgment. So we must correct it. And we are correcting it. We are saying, no, he had run 2 terms. This is what I understood today. This is what I understood today in that judgment. As a layman, I'm not a lawyer, but as a layman, as a public lawyer, that is what I understood. That is what I understood. And the common arguments that have been coming up, which were resolved in that judgment. Number one is the issue that the ConCourt cannot look at a case that has already been done. You cannot. The ConCourt has said, no, we can. We can. Under special circumstances, we can. That is one. Number two, they are saying, no, those who have been saying, no, Edgar Lungu was not eligible, whatever. They said, he was eligible. And what gave him the eligibility? It is the judgment which was there. There was a judgment. Okay? Then number three, no, that election must be nullified because whatever, it is not valid. They're saying, no. Since Edgar Lungu was eligible and ECZ didn't do anything, that election remains valid. And therefore, Hakainde Hichilema, as we speak, is validly elected. Validly elected. We can't go back and start nullifying it. We can't say we are going to nullify it. No. Then, number four, they are saying that judgment, much as it gave legitimacy, whatever, it was a wrong one. Because, according to them, Edgar Lungu had exhausted his 2 terms by the time we reached 2021. And we are very sorry. We gave you this judgment. We are sorry. We are correcting it. The correction is now that Edgar Lungu had done his 2 terms. They even went further to talk about future instances. To say there is no 3rd term. There is no 3rd term. In our constitution, there is no 3rd term. Now they went to talk about the current constitution, Article 106, to say, people seem to suggest that, there is a 3rd term. There is no 3rd term. There is no 3rd term. So in our constitution, there is no 3rd term. That is what they discussed. That is what they delivered today. I am just saying what I heard. What I heard, that's so. That's so. What I heard according to me, a layman that I am, your useless, humble, public lawyer. I don't want to add my opinion. Not today. Today, I don't want to, I'm not adding my opinion. I'm not giving direction. I'm not going to call anyone names. I'm not going to commend anyone. I'm simply putting things according to what I heard. And I will switch on my speaker in case, will I have a doubt if I'll have, let me look for that phone in case, just to take a few questions for clarity. Let me get that phone. I hope it is charged. I'm switching on this phone. I hope it is charged. Then if there are questions, people can call in and ask, and I will whatever. I know this case is very sensitive, and I don't want to entangle myself. Oh, it's charged. Very good. The case is very sensitive, but I don't want to. I will not engage. I don't want to start. No, not on this one. Don't call me on my direct line, please. By the fact that I don't use my direct line for when I'm doing my live. I use the other number. So don't call me on my direct line. Call me on now. If I shout out the number, WhatsApp will censure me. But let me do this. Then I give the number. So the number that you can call me on, the number that you can call me on is my usual the number that I use, the 0777 07 6028. That is the number that you can call me on if you want a clarification. It's 777 0777 Zambia. So nothing like Fiamma code. Zambia, I'm talking about Zambia. 0777 07 6028. That is the number that I use on WhatsApp, by the way. On WhatsApp. Only on WhatsApp. You can only call me on WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, you can call me on WhatsApp on 0777 0777. Somebody can type it so that people can type it in the comments so that people can see it. 0777 0777 6028. Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, but I'm glad I'm the first person to call now. First of all, I want to commend you for giving an account of things, I think, the way they were outlined in court. Now, it's good you're not giving an opinion. I wanted to squeeze you to give your own opinion, but I'll give mine since I'm just a caller. When I look at the way the judgment was delivered, one, in its detail, two, in the pieces of evidence that the judges were relying upon to make the decisions. I look at it, one, to be richer than the previous judgment. And one point maybe where they say the current constitution, which allowed Edgar Lungu to stand, has no instructive effect on the previous one. They said if in the amended constitution, the 2016, there was an instructive retrospective application, then the previous judgment would have been valid. But they note that in the new constitution, there wasn't any instruction to repeal Article 35. And I think I agree with them based on the reason. I agree with them, you know. And maybe finally, I can conclude by saying, you know, you leaders, you as a president of a party, I have read a lot of reactions, and I don't blame other reactions. It is important that there comes a day like today, the way you have decided to break down the judgment. But unfortunately, what others have done, I think, is to give an emotional feedback to the judiciary. And I think in many cases, it robs the general public of understanding the jargon that was used in court. You agree with me that the Zambian population, the majority of the people, may not understand even the sentences as they were being said. They rely on you influential people. So to me, I commend you for not trying to bring in your opinions immediately, but to break it down in simple language for everyone, so that by the time you'll have another program to discuss this, believe me, people will have good feedback to give on the judgment, because you know, you have explained it in a language that a young person will be able to understand the judgment. And I think I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Sir, my name's Anton Lumbia, calling you. Sir, I just want to ask about the election. Since Mr. Edgar Lungu is not allowed to contest for president, is he allowed to contest these other elections, for example, for the member of, for these other elections, for example, for running mate, and others like a member of parliament, is he eligible?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you very much. Very good question. Let me answer that. Yes, there are suggestions, okay? There are people who are saying Edgar Lungu can be a running mate. No, he can't. Why?
Yes, sir.
Why can't he? Because the running mate is as good as a president. The running mate is as good as a president. He is a president on standby. Is a president on standby, and the qualification for the running mate are the same as that of a president. It's the same. So you can never be eligible to stand as a president and be eligible to stand as to be a running mate. You can't, because you are as good as the president. It is the same measure. It is the same measure. The qualifications are the same. So somebody, for example, cannot finish a term like the way HH is. If HH, you know, he finishes a term, he cannot come back and say, no, okay, I finished my term, now I'm going to be vice president. He can't, because a running mate is as good as a president. Okay? But to stand as an MP, you can. That you can. As an MP, you can stand as an MP, but you cannot stand as a president, because, by the way, being an MP, you can contest as many times as you want. Jack Mwimbu, I think, is in his 5th term. Jack Mwimbu, he has been contesting, so so that does not apply. So if he wants to stand as an MP, he can stand. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Yes, sir.
How are you? Right. Okay. So, this is Dr. Rawa. I just want to make first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for being so objective. We need people like you. I don't agree with you always, and you and I, we have different, political views. But what I see in you sometimes, you're very objective. And I suggest, I know right now, I think you're not in Zambia, right? Is that my understanding?
Yes, of course, I'm not in Zambia. I'm not.
Good, good. So I want also you to be very objective over these matters where you have learned away of the issues. I think the government in Zambia are not very bad, against you. You are a young man, just young as I am, and we need people like you in Zambia. They can make use of you. Try to go back home, answer the question in court. Instead of you, I've been away from home for a long time. It's not good.
I think let's put that one aside for now. I don't want to touch those issues. Let's concentrate on this one.
Understand.
Thank you.
Okay, so exactly what you said, it's very, very important that the court today, I think that was the right decision. Okay? This is political. I think I watched another video where you said this is political. I'm not saying they are correct, like 100% correct. Nothing is correct when the judges are appointed by the president. This is the problem that we have. Because judges are appointed by the president. No matter whatever happens, the judge will always sideline within the government who's loading at that time. And I think in this case, your understanding and my understanding is correct. That's how I feel. But when Lungu was the president, I don't know if it was all right. I don't know what will happen if they change the government. But for today, I think what you said is very true. And I thank you for this, for being objective. We need people like you. I know your values are completely different from mine, but please go home.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you very much. Thank you, my brother. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, my brother. Wina family shani mkwai.
Ndio mutende cha number 1 ndoko kumutotera batita tayari pali platform. Wewe ngumla twako ku understand ndiko tatwako pako tuni cha ku understand. Cha number 2 as a Zambian citizen and concerned citizen ndiko kulando ko ati iba piefu kuti kuambira kuti mo kwa president that mundo nde kuti vakompanya po. Kuni judgment ya chitarero ni understand after mwashita clarified. I think number points tendele yako from the previous constitution, Edgar Lungu is coming with a term of which the old constitution said that was sworn in, which was very legal, which means from the old constitution, na kwanisha na saving a term. The constitution, I think it is done. As the Zambian prosecution number man no kutafikisa chani itala kwa italo chesu, and then I think in the judgment lero na setting up 24 abantu bafire mbokwambo kulole kushako nangba parliament ma MPG mande nombo kulole kishana kunta thinking yes I should affect the laws again that will make it simple for the public to understand.
Thank you. Hello?
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 Batari.
Mkwai.
Moita.
Buena famkwai. Hello?
Yes, Batari.
Mkwai.
Okay, Matthew's calling here, Batari. Zasensa chinyanja that is Batari start kuongea nisikomo because mwakamba mushe maningi and yapezeka tivambiri na ifita understand through pamene mwaste expand buno bonzo. So I think this time we say time that we're clear now kusangate manje president winner pamene running 2026 than wasting time yambiri maningi. So otherwise batari zikomo, otherwise tambesesa
zikomo. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Tayali.
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
All right, okay, thank you. Oh, no, we've heard the verdict. I just wanted to find out. Okay, we go back. They said something about Lungu was elected based on the old constitution, is it?
Yes.
This is from the Remans, maybe.
Yes.
Or based on the... so didn't we find out about the 50% plus one? Was it in the old or in the new?
The 50% plus one is came the 50% plus one came in the, it's in the new one. It's in the new one. Yeah, it's in the new one.
Okay. What would have happened? Since they took us back to for the eligibility, they took us back to the old constitution. Now, for if we say there was no 50% plus one attained, would there have been something like somebody being declared if they haven't attained the 50% plus one? Would they have gone back to the old constitution to say, no, let's declare this one because it's being elected, the elections that we're doing are based on the this president is from the old constitution. That is where we are basing everything.
No, I think, my brother, let's see, just let's avoid confusing ourselves.
No, I'm not trying to confuse. I'm just trying to find out if we say, okay, we have amended the constitution. It's in 2016. There's 50 plus one, and even the eligibility, there's a term that has been defined. It's in the new constitution. The 50% plus one is also in the new constitution. We follow the 50% plus one, but for eligibility, we go back to the old constitution.
My brother, listen. They are not taking us. No one is taking us to the old constitution. No one is taking us to the old constitution. It is when it happened, okay? When it happened, when Edgar Lungu became president, which constitution was there? The constitution which was there was the old constitution. What did it say about swearing in or the term? That constitution did not talk about a term. What it spoke about is about 2 5 years, okay? 2 5 years, and being sworn in twice. So according to that constitution, when Edgar Lungu was sworn in, let's imagine, forget about the new constitution. At that time, before we had that new constitution, at that time, when Edgar Lungu was sworn in, are we going to count it as a term, or we are not going to say it's not a term? Definitely we will say the issue of the term does not apply. What applies is being sworn in. So we will count one. Okay. We will count one. Okay. That is what they said. To say, according to that constitution, when he was sworn in, it doesn't matter how long he was sworn in. That's it. We count one. Okay. And then when he did the 2016 to 2021, it is another term, meaning 2 terms. Okay? That is basically what they said. That is basically what they said.
So, in short, we're just saying whatever the new constitution was saying
does not apply.
In terms of eligibility,
it doesn't apply.
Not apply in the...
It doesn't. You cannot apply it retrospectively. You cannot go back. That's basically what they said. You cannot apply it retrospectively.
So that means he was not eligible. Even in 2021, he was not eligible.
to contest in 2021, he was not eligible. Yeah. Because
okay, now if he was not eligible, what happens? What happens to
now?
What
Listen.
happens to
Now listen. The question that you can ask, which I've tried to explain, is that if he was not eligible, how come he was on the ballot? And this is where the judges said there was a judgment which allowed him, the judgment of the Dan Pule and whatever. That judgment is what Edgar Lungu followed and is what ECZ followed. But unfortunately, that judgment, it was a per incuria, meaning it had problems. It was not a careful judgment. That is what they are saying. You follow?
But the constitutionally, is that supposed to be followed? If we have to follow the constitution,
sorry, let me take other people because I mean then it becomes hello. Hello.
Is that supposed?
Hello.
Batayali.
Emkwa.
Batayali.
Emkwa.
Abo kuba kwena mwalondo na fyebuino. Na fyumfuika. Nomba ine defo anjipushe. Okay. Ifunde. Kakuli ifunde. Lelo. Mairo mwapange ifunde ya new. Okay. Aiko atukonke ifunde ya new. Eona lampere example. Ngana alipe omuntu mu 1990 ero kwali death penalty. Okay? Ero tabanjikete basanjikata lero. Okay? Bantwala ku koti bansanga guilty. So bala aibo kwebati ushe iwedi ya waipe omuntu alikwete death penalty. So iwedi wala ku mukobeko. Nango bala aibo kwa tawe death penalty twalista abolish. So iwedi wala kupera life sentence.
Very good question. Very good question. Nomba mungu fwa wino sana. So, ifunde for diaba. Imanga mwaipayo omuntu. Okay? Mwaipayo omuntu. Let's say mwalipeyo omuntu mu 1990. Okay? Mu 1990 atikwali death penalty. Ero taba mikete. Elo baisa mikata lelo. Ngaba mikata lelo. Ili wakara mipingula. Imwe death penalty applies. Imwe death penalty applies. I'll give you another example. Another example is quali that presidential defamation of the president. Defamation of the president. Defamation of the president yaliko muli ba PF moyali, muli ba Lungu moyali. Okay? But iyo HH aishireisa. Aishire ifumi yako ilia defamation of the president. But kwali abantu obo baikete mushita yaba PF aba lefesinga defamation of the president. Ilio haka inde ichirima aishire ifumi yako ilia defamation of the president. Bali abantu aba lefesinga ulio mulandu taba abalekereko iyo ukwebati ao pantino mboyu mulandu na tufumi yako hawe taba abalekereko. And one good example niba siwale bamdala wandiba siwale bala bale bati mutawale ate Edgar Lungu ni mutawale mulebe kushabala bamdala bali bala bamdala bali beke mutime yaba nani kane judgment yabo yaishire bako nishi uli omulandi wa defamation wali fumako kane but he was still judged and he was only saved. He didn't go to jail because he was a sick man. You see?
Yeah.
But otherwise, he was going to go to jail. And I stand to be corrected. There are actually still people who are still appearing in court for defamation of the president of Edgar Lungu, even if Edgar Lungu is no longer president, by the way. And the defamation of the president by Stashani, by Fumiako. So, the law is not applied retrospective that your pant number to amika tapa to alifunyako death penalty iwe alaba so mwala kuna nikane kuchimboka ila death penalty can apply to you except that of course they will come in, you know, here and there bachta committee and whatever but yes, that what will apply to you is a death penalty. But ulio waipayo muntu muli lelo, what will apply to him is chimboka ida. Efo yaba.
Yeah.
So that is the situation.
All right, I understood it differently because I would take an example here in South Africa. And I stand corrected, Kuzami, but because South Africa, we had Janusz Valush.
Sorry, let me allow others to come in because a lot of people are calling. So I know you people would want us to. Hello, yes.
Hello, how are you, Mr. Tayali?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Okay. My question is on Article 52. My question is, this Article 52. Are you telling us that this Article 52 was not there for our previous constitution in 1996 constitution?
I don't know
says which says that if the candidate found wanting by the court of being disqualified, they have to do new nominations. Was it not there in the previous?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It came in 2016.
Okay. So now, since that article came in 2016, meaning it was in place before they allowed ECL's nomination, right?
It was there in 2021. Yes, it was there in 2021.
Yes, it was there before ECL about his nomination. So since the law was in place already, if they allowed ECL to be there, and then today the judges have said they've accepted to say they made a mistake then to accept those nominations, it was done not in a good faith, right? So now my question goes like this: if they accepted to say ECL, the judgment was not good since it was in favor of ECL. Today, going forward, the ECL's issue must be, ECL must not take part in any future elections. So now, according to the judges, why have they decided just to stick on ECL's eligibility, forgetting the precedence between ECL and HH? Why they've ignored that issue now to say even the election must be nullified? Why not?
So listen to me again on this issue.
Yes.
So there is an issue, first of all, to say there was a question: was Edgar Lungu not eligible to contest 2021? There was a question. And the response is that he was eligible in 2021.
Exactly.
Why was he eligible?
In 2021.
Why was he eligible? Because there was a judgment. Okay? There was a judgment which said he's eligible. So that's why he was eligible. Now, if Edgar Lungu was eligible in 2021, what about the election? Was it valid or not valid?
Yes.
It was valid. Okay? It was valid.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now we have discovered that the judgment which gave Edgar Lungu eligibility is wrong. What are we going to follow? Are we going to go to correct the election, or we are going to correct the constitution? The judges decided to correct the constitution. What about the election?
Why not?
Oh, yes. What about the election? What about the election? Because it is out of this judgment that election happened. So we have corrected the judgment. What about the election? Well, I'm not here to give an opinion. I'm not here to give an opinion. But you have a point. You could have a point.
Yes.
You could have a point to say, because the judgment which gave Edgar Lungu eligibility was 40. I mean, we should also go for the election. For the election, we should also go for it. You could argue it like that.
Exactly.
You could argue it like that. It's like, for example, okay, listen, my brother. I'm just being objective and I'm interacting with people. It is like what they do when you at the proceed of crime. If, for example, you get a salary, which is wrong, you get a salary, you are working, and then they pay you money That money which they pay you more. Instead of paying you 1,000, they pay you 20,000. And then you go and buy a bicycle. When they follow you, when they are trying to recover, they can get the bicycle as a proceed of crime. Because that money which you used to buy that bicycle was not legitimately earned. You could argue it like that. And I'm not going further to discuss these issues. I'm just giving, what happened what happened in court, other than giving opinion. I leave it there, my brother. But you have a point.
Mr. Tayali, in conclusion, my point is like this. Today, we are seeing the proceedings of the court, to be honest. The judge has said those affected parties who keep on taking the same matter to the ConCourt judges, the court is not going to entertain them unless they can reverse their decision if they review to say there is something wrong which went wrong. You see? So now, the issue is like this. In the near future, if another government comes in and then they've decided to say this judgment was not done perfectly, since they've removed 3 judges from the Constitutional Court who were supposed to be on the same bench, which means they disadvantage the other parties. Who's going to refuse that?
My brother, I know this is a hot issue. People would want to debate this, but let me leave it there. Let me take another call. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Tayali.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I totally agree with the previous caller. Personally, I'm also very attentive listening to that judgment. To tell you the truth, Mr. Tayali, according to explanation, it was actually very, very detailed. That I take credit. But the only contentious issue is the of the 21. Because if you would say the judgment was not correct, Edgar Lungu was actually eligible to contest. And then the same people who allowed him to contest in 2021, the same judge said they didn't do the right thing. What does it mean? Meaning almost everything there. So I see, as much as these UPND members are celebrating, but in the future, you will have the situation whereby this case will go back to the same constitution and they will declare the election also invalid. What will be the implications? Yeah. This is the angle which I'm seeing now. No? As much as they want to fight, that's why if you look at the Sangwa, all these arguments which they were actually presenting were presented. Now, because they were looking at that, if this judgment is going to reverse it may appear to be these people, the judgment was detailed. But they should also look at the effect of the 2021 election.
The implications.
So all those people are celebrating, including ministers. One day they will tell them to say, you were appointed illegally, including the same judges who were appointed illegally. I also rest my case.
Thank you. Now, this day will be remembered in our history. This day will be remembered in our history. From my point of view, really, I don't want to give an opinion. I really don't want to give an opinion. I just want, what I understood and, hello?
Hello, Bwana Tayali.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Fine.
This issue is, as you have said, that it's a hot issue. But for me, my point is that I don't see any sense where they legalize the 2021 participation and they criminalize the 2026 election. So for me, I believe that in future, when the government changes and the other judges comes in, this thing will go back to court. and say no, that decision was illegal, and since they said he was not eligible to stand, it means that he wanted to bring issues like treason, because if he was not eligible, the election was supposed to be nullified. Is it not going to be like that in the future?
That, my brother, I don't want to delve into those speculations. I don't want, but you have a point. In future, this case might bring issues. You have a point.
Then the other thing is that the way we know you pay, were they going to pay Edgar Lungu his benefits as a former president if he lost elections in 2016 for having served less than 3 years? Were they going to pay Edgar Lungu his benefits?
Again, today I don't want to speculate. I don't want to drag in the politics in this. I'm not doing politics on this matter. So I will not respond to that for now. Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Mbuya, muchabe bwino? Muchabe bwino? Namvera bwino kuona lero pa live Mbuya, namvera bwino maningi. Muzi wa Mbuya loko ine sitinapunzire kuenda kuti, but chamene napunzirapo apa pa judgment Mbuya. Napunzira kuti ma judges watu amankhala influenced na ma politicians. Maona ka? Wankhala influenced na ma politicians. So nikuuzani chilungamo kulingana na makolas venangu vamene wakamba. In the near future, if the UPND will be out of government, I'm telling you this case will be back. And imagine if ECA will have an influence in that government. Government, I'm telling you this case will be back.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. I don't know whether it's evening there, whether it's afternoon. How are you doing?
Let's go by Zambian time. It's good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Yeah.
It is like the eligibility case. You choose whether you go with the old constitution or you go with the new constitution.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, I was just watching the kangaroo courts. You know, that was a kangaroo court. That was a kangaroo court. I'm a junior counsel.
Wait a minute. And that is your opinion. I'm not giving my opinion.
Yes, this is my opinion. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm speaking as a junior counsel. I'm speaking as a junior counsel.
Good counsel. Tell us.
I'm so embarrassed to watch a judge, you know, articulating issues in such manner and misleading the Zambian, using legal jargons to mislead the Zambians. Oh my God. Only ignorant Zambians have bought that lie. You know, that was fakers. You know? In law school, when you answered in a script using the repealed law, they'll mark you incorrect. They were preparing us for practice. They'll say you are using repealed law. The whole lot of a judge, why should you use repealed law in making a judgment over such a sensitive issue?
But
I'm not supporting Lungu. I'm supporting the constitution. The judge just misled himself. He just misled himself. You know, he's portraying how ignorant our judges are to the world. No, that's not right.
My junior counsel, I don't know. I think you lose me there. I don't think they referred to the repealed law. I think they are associating an event to when it happened and which law applied. It is not, they are not applying what happens currently to a repealed law. They are saying when this happened, what law was there? I think that is the context. It is not about applying to the repealed law, but it is what law was prevailing at that time. It is about retrospect, if I could put it that way.
Those are the words they are using. They're just trying to confuse the layman. They're just trying to confuse the layman. Those are the words they are using.
You are studying
I've
law.
sat under judges. The same people will tell us that
You are
when you go to argue in court
you are
as a lawyer,
studying law, my
they'll
dear.
tell
You are studying law.
I'm an advocate. I've already studied law.
Oh,
I'm
you're
an advocate. I've passed that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the terms they use in court to confuse. If I, as a lawyer, go in court to confuse people, to say they are going to, a lawyer can use whatever they want to confuse the masses to win the case. I didn't expect the judge to, especially where there was a judgment. So no matter how huge it was, I didn't expect them to mislead themselves over what they decided on, because that paints a bad picture when they're interpreting the laws from Parliament. No matter how huge it is, even a judgment, no matter how, even if the judge erred, looking at a constitutional court, they cannot reverse what was decided. Whether it was decided by a person who they didn't like, whether they don't like that person, they cannot do that to their own colleagues. That's a circus. It's a disgrace to the legal fraternity in Zambia. Sorry.
No, thanks very much. Thank you, my sister. I see somebody's writing at Tayali is supporting the UPND. I am not supporting UPND. I am not supporting PF. I am simply stating things as they are. So this nonsense of saying, no, he's supporting PF, he's supporting whatever. I know that's why some of you, you want me to speak in a way that I fall on. I'm not going to do that. On this one, I am not going to say, I'm not. I'm just articulating things as I hate them. Hello?
Mr. Tayali?
Yes.
How have you been?
All right, sir.
Okay, we thank God. Today's judgment was a total takeout. Was a total takeout, and its ruling was predetermined and choreographed by the UPND and the president himself, in the sense that if all they wanted is justice to be set, first of all, they could have allowed the same judges, same people, those who have retired or died, to preside over the same matters, if what they are saying that some articles were left out. Unlike what we witnessed, whereby 3 judges, who were on the bench and determined on that matter, were fired the president, using his house as he's doing. Okay? This is very sad to our country. That's one. Then 2, they said the EPL was elected based on a 1996 constitution, based on the Article 35, which was repealed in 2016. Okay? So, and they said they are doing away with the 2021 judgment in the case of Kaparasa Kabampi and the others, and the foundation, what. Okay? So, if they are saying they are vacating that judgment, okay, what happens to the elections of 2021? They do not take. Okay? They said he was eligible based on that judgment, which they said they are doing away with it. Okay? If they are doing away with that judgment, it was their own judgment. Why did not they do away with and amend everything?
No?
This is injustice of the first order.
Thank you, my
brother. They
brother.
have turned this country into a constitutional crisis. This is not a banana. This is very sad. We will resist this case. And HH will be an illegal president. And all the ministers and appointments they have done.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Tayali. Thank you so much. I've been following you very closely, and thank you so much. At least you've made me understand a lot going by the judgment that took place today. what I pick from this is truly, as other callers have spoken, we one day go back to that case in court, looking at the election now, which was born out of the illegal judgment. I think it's high time we listen to what Council Sangwa usually says, that Zambia needs to have a system for selection of judges. I think this issue of more judges being picked by the president should be done away with, because obviously when another president comes in, this issue is not dead. This issue is most likely to come back to court, and this time around it will start talking about the election of HH and his appointments.
Yeah.
You know, I feel sorry for my country. I feel very bad that no, I don't know what the world looks at. The way the world looks at now, when this is Zambia, with all what is happening, our police was now graded as one of the worst. Now we're having all these cases and everything. I don't know where we are going, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah. No, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I wanted to inquire, especially on the fact that the courts admitted on the error that they had made on the first decision. Is there a room of appeal just basing consideration on the first error that was made?
So the court by itself actually admitted to say they can, the ConCourt is a court of finality, okay? So you can't appeal anywhere. But since it is a court of finality, it has got capacity to go back and review or depart from its earlier decision. So, but of course they emphasize the fact that there must be circumstances, there must be compelling circumstances for them to do that. So even this decision, I think from their own judgment, it means that it can be contested. So there is room. Room is there according to the judgment that they gave today. The question is, will there be finality? That is the question. But from the court, they said they have got powers. They can do it. So even this one, like other callers are saying that this case is not over, we might see that it is not over indeed, because somebody might go to court anyway. Hello?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Great. Yeah, so I just wanted to air out something, sir, Mr. Tayali. Why are people are not looking at it in this way? Picture this, Mr. Tayali. If Mr. Lungu is say he was not supposed to stand on that ballot step, and then in all fairness, I feel to say the judgment today was okay of nation. Because I mean, if you look at it in this way, I feel to say
the line is cutting. I can't. The line is cutting. I can't follow exactly. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, how are you, President Tayali?
Fine. How are you, sir?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and we are very happy with the way you have articulated matters. You have reported it as it is, and you have not offered your opinion. But the reason why we Zambians are having misgivings about this judgment is how the judiciary have been acting from the time President Hakainde Hichilema came in. Most of the cases that have been before the courts haven't been adjudicated upon objectively. I can even give an example of the conviction that you had over your assault, where the evidence that was provided before the court, it showed that the medical report indicated that there was no tear of any tissue, but they went ahead with the conviction. And then also prior to this case, we saw the judges that were supposed to be part of the panel being removed. We've seen how the executive have been operating in terms of the deployment of police officers. We've seen, so this is not what is giving us confidence, in as much as they can objectively come up with that judgment that is seemingly objective. We have misgivings because of how the executive have been acting. So they need not to be involved, because we knew that the verdict is going to be that he's not eligible. All of us knew. That is not supposed to be the case. So we just want to appeal to the executive that they should not be interfering in the judiciary. Let it be independent. Let Zambians be free. Let's have a fair hearing. And I'm looking forward from you providing an opinion over this matter, because you have just reported as it is and you've been very objective over that matter. This is my submission. Let me allow others to also come in. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Tayali, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I want to contribute over this issue on the table. Yes. Since the judges said that they held in the previous ruling, I think it would be fair if they would have allowed ECL to stand, since the problem was with them, the judges. They would have said any future candidate found in this situation, since they want to collect it, must be follow this, and they put the guidance. Than barring the candidate who's the candidate they previously allowed to contest the election. Yeah, that is my contribution.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
I think the problem is the judges. The judges, they don't respect the rule of law, I'm sure. And in fact, the lawyers, regardless of the people who are involved, they have to advocate for the rule of law. Because going forward, their profession will be useless.
Yeah. Thank you, my brother.
Will be useless, yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I also want to make contribution to this topic you're discussing. Yes, I like the fact that you are objective on this topic today. And the judgment, I think, was clear. And to those who did not understand, I think they have picked a lot of sense from your articulations. What I can say is, as PF, I know sometimes you advise them. I really think they should be logical going forward, because when you're in opposition, it's never easy. Even them, if you remember when they were in power.
Okay, anyway, my network is tripping. I think I will end here. Basically, just to recap, what I've been doing is not to give my own opinion on this issue, and I'm not blaming. I'm not saying this one did this. This one I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to even apply my politics in this issue. I will see as we go on if I will, discuss this. I've got my own reason why I've done this today, not to get into it and give my opinion. I've got my own reasons, but I think it was good that I at least, you know, because people, when some of these terminologies that they were using, some people didn't really get it. So basically, yes, the issue to say no, the court cannot open their own case when they make a decision at the res judicata. The court has said, no, as a final court, we can look at issue if there are compelling reasons. If there are compelling reasons. If, for example, something was left out, or we discover that maybe the judge was compromised, or, you know, evidence was wrong, and so on and so forth. They spoke about that. Then they said Edgar Lungu was eligible in 2021 because there was a judgment. And ECZ did not commit any offense. And that election, okay, of course, as a result, is valid. As Edgar Lungu going forward, they said, no, he cannot contest further elections because that judgment was wrong. Where was it wrong? They are saying it was wrong because it started bringing in the issue of, you know, a transition. They said that shouldn't have been looked at because it is already provided in the Constitution. How you people look at it and what different people do, that for me is something that I can say I will watch. For now, I think I've done my bit as a public lawyer. May God bless you and may God bless Zambia. Have a lovely afternoon, and it is going to evening. Enjoy yourselves. Bye for now.